If you're not manifesting the desires of your heart, these three things are missing. Let's get into it because this is a Manifestation 101 episode. So it's about to be super juicy. Let's get down to the fundamentals. Hello, lovely. Welcome to a brand new episode of On My Manifesting Mind with yours truly, Sudanë Firestar. I am ecstatic that you are here. So to illustrate the three things that are missing, I'm going to tell you a story. My path to motherhood illustrates perfectly that if you really desire something, that you are going to put your all towards making it happen, no matter what it takes. To manifest my dream baby, I had to have these three pieces present: a strong desire, certainty, urgency. I have wanted to be a mother for many, many years. I like to say my entire life, but did I know that at 1 year old I wanted to be a mom? Not necessarily, but I can think dating all the way back to seventh grade, like having a clear decision in my mind, like this is what I'm manifesting, like this is what I want for my life. And I didn't know the word manifesting or manifestation at that time, but I was indeed manifesting. When I was in the seventh grade, we had to write a story, an autobiography, and we had to write it with our past, our present, and our future in the story. So basically, with the future element, we had to have an idea of what we wanted to have in our future. And back then, I said that I wanted to be a mom, like a single mom, and that I wanted all of my children to have my last name, and I wanted to be a mother of three. How crazy. So, I mean, I definitely manifested being a single mother by choice starting in the seventh grade, but the path was windy. I changed my mind along the way. I thought that I was going to go down more of the Disney fairy tale ending way of life. I thought that I was going to find Prince Charming and get married and have children together and, buy our dream home, all the things. And I'm still not done with that dream. Like, I definitely still believe that I will have my Prince Charming and that we will have our family together. And maybe it will be a blended family. Maybe we'll have a child together. I don't know yet. But what I do know is that it's pretty wild that even though I took this windy road, that I eventually found my way back to what I wanted when I was a child in middle school. But the point is that I always knew I wanted to be a mom. And over the years, I dated, I had relationships, and I, in each relationship, was looking for someone who could be my husband, but also be the father of my children. So I definitely think that I dated a number of guys that were good people, good humans, but they were not right for me. Some were better than others, some were a little shady, not gonna lie. But I definitely had guys in my life that were good men, like good quality people, good humans. But I just knew that it wasn't a good fit for me, the relationship long term, because we had different ideas about what we wanted in the future. Even if initially the guy told me, yeah, we're on the same page. And then I would find out, like, no, we're not on the same page. And back then, I wasn't into law of attraction and manifestation in the way that I am now. So definitely, if it was a priority for me now, my life would be going in a completely different direction when it comes to love, marriage, family. So the fact that we had different ideas about what we wanted was hugely problematic. So each partner that I had said that they wanted to have children, but then the last partner I had switched it up on me. It was talking about, like, maybe I'll be the fun uncle. And I'm like, whoa, because at this point I was getting older and I was just like, wait a minute. I realized that it was not only up to me. Like, when you're in a partnership, you're in a relationship, a marriage, that it takes two. It's up to the two of you in your partnership to decide what is right for you as a couple. And my last partner started to be a little bit wishy-washy when it came to becoming a dad and becoming a parent. I just knew for multiple reasons that the relationship needed to end. And then I just enjoyed being single for a while. And when the pandemic hit, being in a situation like that, where you're in the pandemic, which I had never lived through a pandemic before, so I had no idea what to expect. No one around me knew what to expect. We didn't know how long this was going to last. How long are we going to be quarantined? How long are we going to be social distancing and not allowed to mingle with others? There was so much uncertainty in that time period. But because I had faith and I had law of attraction and my spirituality and my practices that helped me to stay grounded, I really started to look inwards and to trust my intuition more and to really know for sure what it was that I wanted at that time in my life. And it dawned on me that I was putting a lot of stock in my partners, the men that I was dating, and letting them decide and lead the way when it came to the time and place. Like, when are we going to have children? And I thought to myself, tomorrow isn't promised. And if it's not promised, then is this how it ends for me? Where I just don't get to be a mom because I'm single at this time. I'm not partnered up and I'm waiting to find Mr. Right and to see how the relationship goes. Because I was like, even if we do get out of this, I'm approaching 40 soon. So are we just gonna meet each other and immediately start trying to procreate? Like, I mean, that's not my idea about how I want to live life. I would want to get to know my significant other before bringing a child into the world. There were all these practical aspects of life that I had to process. And I realized that it would be so empowering if I could just do it on my own. Being a mother to me was way more important to me than being a wife, a girlfriend. So I knew what I had to do. There was this inner knowing. Okay. So, step one in all of this in your manifestation practices is to be really passionate about whatever it is that you want to call into your life. If you're lukewarm about your desire, then it's probably not a desire. How can you make it more exciting? How can you dream bigger? Because if you're lukewarm about it, you likely do not really want it. You want something else. So, what is that something else that you're just not acknowledging that you want? When you're dreaming too small, your goal that you want to manifest seems basic. It's not going to motivate you enough. You're not going to be willing to go the extra mile to make it happen. And when I tell you that I went the extra mile to manifest my baby girl, I went the extra mile. I had to figure out, like, how do I even do this? What are the different pathways that I could take? I ultimately chose IVF. And anyone who has gone through IVF or has a family member or a friend who has gone through it knows how taxing and extensive that process is. It can take a physical toll and an emotional toll on you. And because of the finance aspect of it, at the time, there were not resources that would enable me to have the treatment paid for. I paid for the treatment out of pocket, so there was a financial investment that I had to go through. And then the clinic that I chose was not in New York City. It was further upstate in upstate New York. And I also did not have a car. So then I had to find transportation and people to take me to go there. I mean, there was even a period of time when I was working remotely where I stayed in a hotel further north for 2 weeks while I went through my fertility treatments to prepare to go through an egg retrieval for the first time. I went through 2 egg retrievals. I went through 3 frozen embryo transfers. I mean, I did so many things to manifest my daughter. It took months and it was all worth it to me because I had a strong desire. I knew exactly what I wanted and I wasn't willing to give it up. So, what is it that you want to manifest? And if your feelings are so about it, why? How can you make it more exciting? How can you dream bigger? How can you think outside the box? How can you get some like tingly feelings in your body? So, step one, create that strong desire by choosing something that is really, really desirable to you and not just lukewarm and basic and average and ordinary. The next piece is the certainty. I increased my certainty. Well, I was certain already that I wanted it, but I also had a strong belief. And so when I'm saying certainty, I mean your belief that you can have it. So how can you increase your certainty? That's another reason why you may not be manifesting what you want because you don't believe that you can have it. I had a strong belief that I could become a mother through this process. I also had done a lot of research to figure out, like, how do I do this damn thing? What are the different pathways that are available to me? Like, what are the options? How can I make this more affordable for me? And I found all of the answers to my question. I do believe that God and the universe helped me as well to figure it out. And that's the other thing. Definitely, if you want to increase your certainty, you can do the research to figure out, like, how do I do this thing to take your inspired actions? Like, I knew all of the inspired actions I wanted and needed to take to get closer to achieving my goal. So even though I had some sad points, right? Like my first egg retrieval, I got three embryos, three-day embryos, and I was kind of sad. I cried a lot, thinking that maybe this wasn't going to really happen for me because I had read all this information that claimed that day three embryos weren't as likely to take as 5-day embryos, and how 5-day embryos were, just had a better success rate. So I was feeling very sad, like I did all of this and this may not really happen for me. But then I recovered. I got myself back together. I was resilient and I did it again. And the next time around, I got way more embryos than the last time. But you know what? Like, faith is everything because I did try transferring 2 5-day embryos, like one at a time, which didn't stick. And the third time I did my frozen embryo transfer, I transferred 2 day 3 embryos and one of them stuck. One of them, one of them stuck. One of them took, and that was my baby girl. So even though I read all this information online that claimed that day three embryos weren't as good as 5-day embryos, my day three embryo was successful. The point is that I did the research, I increased my certainty. I kind of had a sense of like, okay, financially I can do this. I know what it takes to do this. I see myself making this happen. Come hell or high water, I gotta make this happen. And I did. I got all the help and all the support that I needed to manifest my baby girl. So, what is it gonna take for you to increase your certainty? If you have any limiting beliefs around your ability to manifest your desire, write it out, journal about it. In your journal, write down, please help me to see things differently, like God, angels, universe, my higher self. Please help me to see things differently. And then turn things around. Think about an alternative way to see things. How can you see things in a more positive light for yourself? Challenge your limiting beliefs and come up with something more affirming to believe in. Look for the evidence that supports the idea that this is possible for you and refutes the idea that this is impossible for you. And even once you have increased your certainty, something really important to consider is the fact that even if you have an idea about one way to achieve your goal, the benefit of co-creating with the universe is that the universe can show you a completely different miraculous pathway that you had not considered to achieving your goal. So even once you have a pathway and you're following that path, be open to alternative possibilities because there may be an easier way, there may be a better way. So don't fixate on this one way. Be flexible in your thinking, be creative and open to alternative ideas and options. Okay, so we've touched on one and two. We've touched on your strong desire. We've touched on your certainty. Now let's dive into urgency. As I mentioned, I decided during the pandemic that I was going to go it alone to become a single mother by choice. And that's because I had a sense of urgency. First of all, I was getting older and I knew that there was a limit to my fertility and that I would get to a point where infertility would be the reality. Obviously, again, miracles can happen, but I wasn't willing to take that chance. I wasn't willing to be like, well, we'll see what happens. Maybe you are. Maybe your belief is strong enough that you do wait and it does work out for you because you manifest that. But for me, I was thinking along a more of a practical route in that sense, and I was like, nah, I'm not willing to risk it. I believe that this is the window for me to do this. I don't know how long we're going to be quarantined, social distancing, being away from everyone. And I thought to myself, I have so many people in my life who have blended families. I have so many people who have not ultimately stayed with their same partner. Some have, and that is wonderful. But again, I see that it can work either way. So for me, I was like, I'm cool with having a baby on my own initially because that is a high priority for me and there's a sense of urgency behind it. And then I'm open to also then letting a partner into my life. I see that different types of families work. And so I'm open to different types of family structures. So the pandemic and then also fertility created that sense of urgency in me. So when it comes to your dreams, your goals, your desires, what is going to create that urgency for you? Are you taking each day for granted? Are you taking each year for granted, believing that, oh, I'll just get to that next year because there's always going to be another time? You just never know what could happen. So you may be banking on being able to do your dream or manifest your dream someday, but you never know. You don't. So are you taking each day for granted, or are you treating every day like a gift from the universe, a gift from God? Each day is a miracle. Each day that we get to wake up and take another breath is precious and gorgeous. So are you appreciating every day that you have? Are you really making the most of your life and the time that you have here on planet Earth in this precious body? Like, even if you believe in reincarnation, you have this one life to live. You may have others, but you're not going to relive this one. So that's what I have for you today, my love. If you didn't know, On My Manifesting Mind has exclusive episodes for brand new or aspiring entrepreneurs, because there I am sharing mindset shifts, practical tips that you need to take your brand new business to the next level. So far, there are 6 episodes that are ready for your listening pleasure, and there's going to be at least one brand new episode every single week. And in episode 2, I was talking about the mindset shifts that you need for social media. And in that episode, I also talk about how to make sure that you're infusing positive energy into the content that you put out into the world. And I even listen to my own podcast episodes. I go back and I listen, because even I need these mindset shifts. I need the reminders. So even though there are already 6 episodes uploaded and ready for you to listen to, I went back to episode 2 today and I was listening to it, and it reminded me about getting my energy up. So my baby girl graduated from 3K today, and it was a beautiful day. But throughout the day, I was feeling pretty low energy. And then when I got home and I realized, like, oh my God, like, I have to record a new episode of the podcast, because I have made this commitment to show up every Thursday morning and to publish a new episode. So it's Wednesday right now when I'm recording this, and I was feeling low, like I'm exhausted for various reasons. But I was thinking to myself, like, I have to come here. I have to deliver for you. I have to increase my energy, put positive vibes in here. I can't come on here flat and then start talking to you, because you're not going to want to stick around, right? I have to bring the positivity. I have to bring the high vibes. So I listened to episode 2 of On My Manifesting Mind exclusives. And then later in the evening, after I put my daughter to bed, I was like, I'm going to get into the zone. I put makeup on. I picked my curly fro, my coily fro, to give it more oomph. I did a dance party, and then I came on the mic, and I felt so much better by the time I sat down to record this episode. So if you are not yet listening to On My Manifesting Mind, the exclusive episodes, if you have not yet subscribed, you got to get in there. It is wonderful. I listen to it myself, because these are messages that I need to hear all the time. It helps me to be high vibe. This is what you need as a new business owner, a new entrepreneur who loves law of attraction and manifestation. And then on top of that, going back to the podcasting aspect of it, Audacious Audio is still open for enrollment. So if you are not in there yet, you need to get in there. Just like I talked about today, I talk about limiting beliefs, and I give you the strategies that you need to overcome your limiting beliefs when it comes to becoming the audacious podcaster, being confident to put yourself out there, shining like the brightest star that you are. The links to both are in the show notes. And if you are not yet following the podcast or subscribing, what are you doing with your life? So follow on Spotify or Apple, subscribe on YouTube or any other platform that you prefer, to make sure that you know every single time a new episode drops. So that's what I have for you today, my love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I look forward to seeing you and talking to you again next Thursday. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a beautiful week. I love you. Mwah. Bye.